Seth and Crystal, tell us about fostering and then adopting the boys.
So I went to work one day and Crystal called me on the phone and she said, hey, there's twin boys that need fostering. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I came home and there were 2 twin boys in our living room, and the social worker was there, and then she basically said, okay, here you go.
When we first got the diagnosis or potential diagnosis, because again, FASD is very hard to get a diagnosis for, so our behavioral pediatrician immediately kind of wrote down his perspective of what our twins had, and then kind of like, it was like a bomb. I left there feeling like overwhelmed, alone, and there was nobody to talk to about it that would understand or has walked our journey. That's when I reached out to you.
Always find joy in the smallest of things. That is what we found in you. Oh, you are joy. Never give up when the going gets rough. Hope is everything you need. Oh, you are hope.
Because they're amazing, beautiful little boys. They're now 5. So tell us a little bit about how you see them. Tell us, just tell us the good things. Tell us what you love about them.
I think the fact that even though they shared the same womb and they were womb mates, they're very different in size and also personality.
I think both boys, surprisingly, with everything they've been through, are so empathetic. They're funny. They're extremely happy.
In my experience, because I've been parenting a couple of boys with FASD myself for quite some time. Mine are now teenagers. And I was amazed when I discovered that it's barely covered in medical school, and they don't like to diagnose it because they don't want to add shame to the individual or the child being diagnosed, and they don't want to shame birth parents. When my boys were diagnosed when they were 6 and 8, the developmental pediatrician basically said, here's your diagnosis, have a nice day. There were no resources, there were nothing. And then if I went to the internet to find out, it was a nightmare. With the support group and the podcast and the training, we're trying to be able to be that resource for families so that they're able to get the help and the support that they need. So tell us what, because I know you took the training, one of the trainings that we offer. Did you find that training helpful?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I think we both left the training with a different perspective on our children, and what can we do differently? How can we support them? How can we educate the people that are educating our children?
So we've become pretty passionate as an organization about providing those resources and the training, the support group, and our podcast. I know you listen to the podcast, so share how the podcast has been helpful.
When you listen to the podcast and all of the people are willing to come forward and share their stories and share their experience, it's extremely encouraging. It's a lifeline. It's support.
Early on, we decided that we were going to be the couple that spoke about it and not kept it to ourselves. I know so many families get diagnoses and they internalize it and they don't talk about it and they don't want anybody to know. And I found that by being open and sharing our story, so many people surprisingly have said, oh my gosh, do you know my child was just diagnosed with so-and-so, or, and I'm like, really? And then it's like they open up, but you have to really be the person that puts your life out there and is going to you're going to live by being an open book in order to share this. Thank you so much for you putting your life out there and your sharing about your struggles with your own children, because if it wasn't for people like you, I don't think that anybody would be having this conversation. And I think we need to be moving in the direction of this being observed as a real disability. And I think your organization, you personally, and so many people that work with you are all working in that direction. And we're really thankful to be part of that, to be part of the training, and just to be part of that momentum moving forward for our children and our children's children.
Never give up when the going gets rough. Hope is everything you need. Oh, you are hope. Always find joy in the smallest of things. That is what we found in you. Oh.